Okay, John-san, welcome back to the Business Karaoke podcast. This time we will be doing our episode in English, right?
Yes, thank you so much, Brittany. Thank you so much for inviting me. I didn't have much to speak. Too exciting. Good to see everybody.
Exactly. So if people don't know, John is a returning guest. He's actually one of our first returning guests ever of the Business Karaoke podcast. And we're going to be jumping in today. We're going to be talking about really innovation ecosystems. What do the role small to medium enterprises play? What do the role startups play? And everything in between. But before that, for those of you that haven't had a chance to listen to John's Japanese episode, let's do a little bit of a recap. So one of the things that I learned about you is that your first business was when you were 3 years old. Now, can you tell me what on earth a 3-year-old can do?
Oh, thanks so much for asking me. So before I start, hope everybody has been, all your families, friends, and yourself being staying safe, healthy, and happy wherever you are, and do what you love. So let's start. So when I was 3 years old, I really enjoyed eating my mom's breakfast. And I thought we can, leftovers, we didn't want to waste. So I decided to go to talk to our neighbors. They run the restaurants. So I asked them to give me the small plastic box and like a bento box. So I put everything become like a beautiful bento box. And then I want to try to sell on the beach. However, just like I don't remember, it's a Tuesday or Wednesday morning, in Shimonoseki City. Nobody, even no dogs, like nobody was on the beach. So I couldn't sell it.
Right.
At the time, I didn't know the pricing, I didn't know the branding, I didn't do the marketing research. So I decided to go back to the restaurant and ask their owner of the restaurant, hey, Oji-san, could you buy this? Then he asked me, oh, Kojiro, how much? And I said, 1000 yen. It's like a $10. So he gave me the 1000 yen. I received it within 20 minutes since I left my house.
Very good. I think that's a real effort. I think, it's so special, right? Because you really implemented all those elements of business. First, you have to go and, you have to test when you recognize that you don't have any customers, you have to, pivot, and you did that all being 3 years old. I think that's so great. Now, one thing that I'd like to bring in here is that people mostly know you actually for leading global business, being that kind of bridge between Japan and the world, also about startups. However, that's not all really what you do, or let's not say that's really not your core, is it? Your core really is your family and your business. Can you talk to us a little bit about Moriwaka Medical?
Oh, thanks so much for asking, Brittany, again. You asked me great questions and a great, introduction about, my life as well. So I actually founder, CEO of Silicon Valley Ventures. You can ask me about this later. And also director of Startup Grind. I've been actually working for Moriwaka Medical since I was 0 year old.
So I can imagine.
I at home, I can always hear my parents talking about business, talking about, customers are God. They always say, お客様は神様です. And also employees coming to our house, also our customers coming to our house. Our customers, one of the famous doctors call our house. Hey, it's me. I didn't know who it was, but that we are so close relationship.
Put me on the phone to your dad. I need to talk to your dad.
At that time, I didn't have a mobile phone or anything. But anyways, so our family business, Moriwaka Medical, we call it Zebra Company. So Zebra Company is we providing social and also economical returns sustainably. So we are the medical device innovation firm. We sell, repairs, provides any kinds of medical devices and equipments. And also we sell the devices for COVID and try to solve the problems. Ozone, device for the rooms or medical facilities.
That's so interesting. Tell me a little bit about what it's like working in a family business. As you said, there's no real difference between, work and life, and it's really just one whole ecosystem. Talk to us a little bit about what it's like working every single day with your family.
It's like, it's fun and tough,
Yeah.
because since I was 0 year old, it's kind of, we don't have a work-life balance. We
Right.
we are work-life branded, like a
Hmm.
family-oriented company, and we also call our employees or Moriwaka family. It's
Wow.
not like
Hmm.
Italian gangs or anything, but we treat them like a family, brothers and sisters.
Right.
So we are a very friendly, environment,
Mm.
and also our office near located at the beach
Hmm.
and also
Right.
mountains, and so we really enjoy, because we can ask any questions. We listen to our employees like families. So because of too close relationship with like a parents, my boss.
Mm.
So sometimes we argue.
Mm.
However, because we are family, like we have the same blood and the same passion and same vision, so we can actually become like a great, not parents, great partners for the business again.
Johnson, you mentioned about coming from a family business, and family businesses have to manage different things, right? They're managing people, they're managing profits, but also they need to grow, right? Especially in this time of, post corona, we have to build a new economy, there's new opportunities in the market. How would a family business like yours, like Moriwaka Medical, transition into becoming a zebra company?
Thanks for asking, Brittany. That's a great question. And there are about 40,000 companies in Japan.
Mhm.
99.7% of companies are actually 中小企業,
Right. So
SME.
small, yeah, SME, small to medium enterprises.
And I don't know how many of them are family companies, but
Mm.
usually, Japanese startups and started from the family business a long time ago,
Yeah.
uh,
Hmm.
which is also Moriwaka Medical included.
Mm.
And to adapt the environment, to
Mhm.
understand the market, and we always shift to something market needs.
Right.
So we are a medical device company, but
Mhm.
we sell any kinds of medical devices, and not only medical devices. We help doctors to start their new hospitals as well.
Mm.
And then now, because of the COVID-19, we shifted to also start to sell many devices, try to help COVID,
Wow.
such as like ozone device,
Mhm.
and also the for the finding temperatures,
Mhm.
and also AI thermography camera.
Mhm.
That's not medical device,
Yeah.
but where our customers, whatever they need, we always ask very strong. We find their local Japanese distributors from overseas. We always talk to them,
Mhm.
and we always get a license as a distributor,
Mhm.
and we distribute the best innovative technologies to the local medical markets.
Mhm.
So I'm saying, to become a zebra company, to have a sustainable business, always understand the market and
Right.
what they need, and
Mhm.
always try to, adapt new
Right.
environment. Then
Right.
we can have a sustainable business.
Mhm. Now, Johnson, we're speaking about zebra companies. Maybe people are saying, I've heard of a unicorn, but why would you go for a zebra if you can go for a unicorn? What's the benefit of not going for that big
Mm.
valuation, that big unicorn kind of, style structure? What's the benefit of actually aiming to become a zebra company?
Yeah, that's actually, I'm sure everybody needs to understand to have actually, we have a long life. We have a, hopefully we can live like 100 years, And also, even unfortunately, our generation, we must work till like 80 years old, or I'm
Hmm.
sure we have to work till 85 if you
Hmm.
don't want to do it. If you work for large corporations, your retirement is 55 or 60 years old.
Hmm.
However, other, just working for employee, you don't have enough saving for until 80 years old, 85 years
Yeah,
old.
right. It's 20 years.
Yeah, yeah. And however, I'm sure working for Zebra company, your
Hmm.
retirement, actually one of our employees over 70 years old. And
Hmm.
also my dad is 81 years old. He's still enjoy working. She's actually in the downstairs working now. And my mom is 70, I shouldn't say her age, but she's
No.
also enjoy working. So working for those like a small and strong company for a
Mm-hmm.
long time, and it's a you can enjoy working and you can enjoy your life together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think
and
that's great.
also because of Silicon Valley Ventures, we help next unicorns as well, and
Mm-hmm.
that's also good for the society for disrupting new building a new industry for the
Mm-hmm.
market, creating a new market. That's good for the society
Mm-hmm.
economically and sometimes also socially.
Mm-hmm.
However, 85 years old cannot work for unicorns, cannot
Right.
create unicorns. But 85-year-old can work for zebra company for a long
Mm-hmm.
time. So we have to have a zebra and unicorns in the same, because we live in the same planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an ecosystem. Not try to should create only zebra, not try to should create unicorns. We have to live there happily together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's kind of, just like it is in nature. There are, there's all different kinds of animals. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
If we
yeah,
think about you often mention that your motto in life is, innovations for a happy life, innovation for a better life.
yeah.
If we think about this kind of motto and we think about the areas that it's kind of inspired you to go and do different kinds of things, be it open businesses or whatever, let's go a little bit into how that's affected the businesses that you've developed. So, for example, you're now working with your family again for Moriwaka Medical, but you also are, as we first got to know each other, you're very active in the startup scene. Talk to us a little bit about how there's this balance, or how there's this transition between working for a 47-year-old Japanese family-owned medical device company, and then leading these kind of startup conversations. How do you manage both?
Because thanks for asking, and because I love innovation, and also to make everybody happy, and we're gonna have to have a long time business. That's a zebra company, but
Hmm.
also to actually make more things convenient and
Hmm.
make things easier, we need
Hmm.
innovation. That's like startups are good at it, and also open innovation with collaborating with large corporations. They have a resource as not only the capital, they have a resource for global market. So startups should collaborate with large corporations as well.
Hmm.
And also we help startups meeting investors for their negotiations. Also how to teach how to pitch to the investors as well.
Hmm.
So to make everybody happier, to
Hmm.
have a healthier life, I love running for helping startups to large corporations as an advisor. Also, I love being a visiting professor of two universities, one in Myanmar and also one in Tokyo. And also, I love writing innovation, interviewing people like you and people, entrepreneurs, investors, accelerators, incubators from around the world for my column for Forbes Japan, Recent Bank, and Dreamgate.
Hmm.
So my time, my one day is like, you know, half of my time is working for Moriwaka Medical, and
Hmm.
also half of the time at Silicon Valley Ventures, and also try to create some time for NGO and NPO as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, if we think about the zebra model, it really does seem like more of a natural fit to the Japanese economy. It sounds like more
Mhm.
of a natural fit to kind of just how society functions. People, are willing to invest more time. They're willing to go a little bit more slowly for the sake of sustainability. If we think about that, if we think about, zebra companies perhaps being more suitable to Japan, I'd also love to know what your view is, or the opportunities, for example, in Japan, because I know that you being, despite coming from maybe a traditional Japanese background, you're nowhere near a traditional Japanese personality. so, so I would love to know a little bit about your thoughts about what that zebra model how that might benefit Japan, or if you see that there's a good fit. And also, I'd love to know more about your personal opinion about where you would love to see, things move in the market.
Yeah, that's also again very. You asked me greatest questions to save Japan, and hopefully my answers help many people. Yeah, so my perspective of creating Zebra company is actually as also the government try to push for digital transformation, we
Mhm.
have to actually transform ourselves to not only becoming a digital, like engineers or actually designers
Mhm.
or the people. We have to transform. We have to grow next level to be a global citizens.
Mhm.
And even Zebra company, and they have a sustainable, like economical benefits and social returns in local areas. We have to be more global. We
Mhm.
can live in the local, but we have to look for the local, a global market, and also try to solve global problems.
Mhm.
So as try to solve local problems, we always have to see other worlds and collaborate. And so my actually dream to create also ourselves becoming the global Zebra company,
Mhm.
staying in the local
Interesting.
regions. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Interesting.
actually help everybody around the world from local
Mhm.
area, from your hometowns.
I think this is so interesting because this is really where we start getting, maybe now we can get more into maybe your Silicon Valley Ventures work. This is where we see that Japanese companies, perhaps that they're not the fastest, perhaps that they're not the most innovative, but in terms of if we think about collaboration or if we think about partnerships, Japanese companies are really great partners, even though they're, it does take a lot to manage the partnership and things like that. But in terms of partnerships, they're, I think, a great partner because they're not looking to just make a return, in the next quarter, and they're not looking to, move very quickly. There's a really
Huh.
great opportunity to partner with a Japanese company, but we don't see that really happen in the market. So I wonder, what do you think is kind of standing in the way between Japanese companies being that partner maybe for these for other companies? Perhaps it's a startup, or perhaps it's even another Zebra company. Where do you think that maybe there's that disconnect between the domestic market and the global market?
Oh, startups are like children, good children, like very active, super hyperactive kids.
Mm-hmm.
Their age is only 8 years old or junior high.
Mm-hmm.
And Japanese companies, we are actually, I'm still young, and even my age is 47, 48 years old. Moriwaka Medical, Silicon Valley
Mm-hmm.
Venture is only 5 years old kid.
Mm-hmm.
So companies or country, we have a long history. We are like like dinosaurs. Even our nation is small, our markets are dinosaurs, very big.
Mm-hmm.
So if you talk to like dinosaurs or elephants,
Mm-hmm.
like 2,000 years old elephants,
Mm-hmm.
they cannot hear your voice. Yeah, kids asking,
That's right.
hey, let's play basketball. What is basketball? Are you want me to play baseball? So it's a different language.
Uh-huh.
So startups as a children talking to grandma or grandpa,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have to talk, slowly. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to ask grandpa or grandma, politely.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, grandpa, my name is blah blah blah. Let's play this game. Let's provide innovation. What is innovation? Are you talking about invention or So it's a different language.
Mm-hmm.
Startups talking to large corporations,
What kind
especially
of
different culture.
What kind of language do you recommend? For example, if we think about, and you and I talk about this all the time, that there could be such an incredible opportunity to partner with these small to medium Japanese enterprises that are looking to innovate. There's such an incredible opportunity for them to partner with, or collaborate with, or develop some kind of distribution relationship with foreign startups. That you and I see that this is really key to opening the Japanese economy. This is really key to kind of getting those small to medium enterprises into that kind of like zebra category. how would you recommend, or what kind of conversations do you have when you're sitting down? So it's probably, I don't want to say that it's easy, but if you have someone like you in an organization, that's someone that's open to innovation, then it's easy. How do you, for example, if you're sitting at a table with other business owners, if you're sitting at a table and they say, I don't know about innovation, is it invention, like you just mentioned, what kind of conversation, what do you say to these leaders of Japanese companies to kind of change their mindset a little bit?
Yeah. So Japanese people or grandparents always want to hear, they don't, they are not excited to hear the new challenge, but they want to feel more, understand how business works.
Right.
And they want to hear your results. Actually, it's like a POC, proof of concept. Actually, your business can be manageable, work for Japan. So maybe your product, this pen, can sell a lot in Europe, but maybe not sell zero in Japan. So they want to hear somebody actually tested this pen in Japan. So of course, marketing research and also proof of concept. So if Japanese large corporations can help POC for startups, technologies, or products in Japan for at least 3 months and have a great results, Japanese companies want to listen more.
Yeah, I think that's great.
What?
That's great advice. I think for foreign for foreign startups coming to Japan or wanting to work with Japanese companies, certainly keep in mind how you can already prove that this concept might work in Japan. So certainly working at PSC, I think that's great. John-san, tell me where the idea for Silicon Valley Ventures came from. How did Silicon Valley Ventures get born into the world?
Yeah, so I live in overseas for a long time, including Australia, your home country, for 7 years. Then I was in Tokyo for running hip hop record company when I was 27, and then worked for Moriwaka Medical. I want to see the world more clearly, so I wanted to study innovation and marketing at Harvard Business School. Then I wanted to change Japanese large organizations, talking to grandparents. However, that was not really easy when I was only 30 years old. Then I thought, who I can change is like entrepreneurs. So I moved to Silicon Valley and then studied at Stanford for a short time, UC Berkeley, also took the acceleration programs. Because I wanted to educate and inspire young entrepreneurs becoming like unicorns or becoming like a good, actually researchers, more innovative researchers. Then I was looking for some company can do this. Then I couldn't find any because I wanted to help students, startups, researchers, university professors, also large corporations. So I couldn't find any. Actually, there are a few, and they are my friends. But we slightly have a different opinions or ideas. So I created Silicon Valley Ventures by myself. Actually, Silicon Valley Ventures founded by me in Shimonoseki City. The name is Silicon Valley Ventures, but we founded Silicon Valley Ventures inside of Moriwaka Medical, level 4. Actually, I pay for the rent fee for Moriwaka Medical.
Well, tell us more about this. What does Silicon Valley Ventures stand for? What kind of services do they offer?
Yeah, so we only started because when I founded the company, no customers. But first customer founded the next day. Actually, Kyushu Institute of Technology became my first customer. And then I took them for sightseeing, innovation tour for Silicon Valley Ventures.
Nice.
But because I was back and forth and also had a great connections, since then next year start to have bring more entrepreneurs and also start very famous startups for attending to meet VCs, also helping engineering, actually very big business people, about 20 people, Then some become actual angel investors. Some actually invest in Silicon Valley as well. So I was start to help those, and also our first big customer was Fuji Xerox. As the first year of our actually company founded, and try to help their open innovations, and also 3 days workshop. And now because we're doing this for 5 years, and also we have a media, and we help Forbes Japan, Listener Bank, Dreamgate. We do like their columns for innovation, and also our big clients actually not only next unicorns. We sit there actually advisory board, and also we are advisor of large corporations. We cannot actually tell their names, but those companies actually everybody knows those companies, global companies. So we help their actually advice for their future investments, meet which startups they should actually do the open innovations. Yeah.
So now I have two different questions. Question number one is, how did you introduce this idea to your parents? The idea that, you'd be working for Moriwaka Medical, but also you have this idea that, you'd like to bring Silicon Valley Ventures kind of closer to Moriwaka Medical. That's question number one. Question number two is, what were your biggest learnings from the Silicon Valley Ventures early days of, when you're building your POC, gaining those first clients? What were your biggest learnings from that time?
Oh, okay. Thanks for asking. First of all, actually, when I was watching TV in Shimonoseki City during the lunch, I started to cry. I didn't know why, because our previous prime minister visited Silicon Valley, and then he met Elon Musk and Zuckerberg, and then when he was meeting Mikitani-san, the founder of Rakuten. And then I saw them like a stars, Japanese people in Silicon Valley. At that time, I've been to Silicon Valley twice. However, I was just I kept crying. I didn't know why I cried. I don't normally cry, but I cried for about half an hour. Then my dad said, "Why are you crying?" Then he said, "Don't stay here. Go to Silicon Valley." He said to me. Then I said to him, "I really want to. I want to change the world." And then I actually, told him the truth, what I really want to do for my life. Of course, at that time, I enjoyed working for Moriwaka Medical. Of course. But I wanted to understand how startup works. I wanted to understand how acceleration program works, because at that time, that was like 5 years ago, right? And actually, I told him about this 6 years ago, before creating Silicon Valley Ventures. I told him, I don't know what to do in Silicon Valley, but I want to understand how innovation is developed and created by entrepreneurs. That's startups. And I wanted to understand how acceleration programs can help startups become next unicorns or next, like scale-ups. Then I told him I want to bring this mindset from Silicon Valley to Japan to inspire all Japanese people for next level, and actually make them happier by innovation. Then he said, "Oh, create a company." Firstly, he told me, go back to Silicon Valley. You can stay Moriwaka Medical, but you can come back to Moriwaka Medical anytime. So actually, I was very busy when after created the Silicon Valley Ventures, but not many customers. So I want to become a public speaker to get a little bit paid, but I wanted to sell my name to whole Japan. So I started to have tours. Started talking a little tips about Silicon Valley. So each time when I come back to Japan, I had my talk in Tokyo, Osaka, or different cities. Then start to have my summer tour, 16 different cities around Japan for 3 years. Then actually people start to pay. Large corporations start to pay for 30 man for my only 1 hour just a talk about open innovation. These things. It was not my intention to get money, But my actually real passion and vision and for innovations for healthier life, actually Silicon Valley Ventures and Moriwaka Medical, same vision. That's my life's vision as well.
Yeah.
To make everybody happier. Then we start to actually, I try to not get customers. Second question, actually, people actually ask me on Facebook, Fuji Xerox or Deloitte. Actually, people, my friends ask me, hey, Johnson, can you come to my seminar room? Can you give a talk to inspire to motivate our employees? Also, my customers ask me, oh, they don't ask me, oh, teach us about Silicon Valley. They always ask me, Johnson, you are like a great leader, great like motivator. Can you come to give a talk? Because Japanese people's mindset and it's actually very narrow.
Yeah.
And these days, many people ask me, not only talking about Silicon Valley, they ask me different ecosystems, including Israel, Luxembourg, Finland, India, Paris, like Europe, because I've been to 11 different countries last year for all different ecosystems to research and understand how it developed.
And then I guess those lessons have now transitioned or they've transferred into Startup Grind Fukuoka, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what Startup Grind Fukuoka is, how it's different, and maybe what are the lessons, that you collected from these other ecosystems along the way.
Thank you so much, Brittany. And I was in Silicon Valley and for 6 years, actually about 7 years already. And then because this year I couldn't go back. And my last visit to Silicon Valley was last November. So when I was in Silicon Valley about 6 years ago, first time I attended Startup Grind, real Startup Grind Global Conference. Then I saw Professor Craig Christensen's talk. He was very tall and he was like a superstar. And because of at HBS, he was very sick, so he couldn't come to give a talk to our program. But I have many of his books and how to measure your life or disruptive innovation, and then I was so impressed. So thanks to God, thanks to Startup Grind, I actually listened to his lecture. Later, Guy Kawasaki was on the stage. Reid Hoffman was on the stage. So I was, whoa, what this is like Silicon Valley. I want to bring this Startup Grind to Japan. However, already somebody brought it to Japan. Then I met her. I met this person, Tamami-san, actually Startup Grind in Silicon Valley, because she brought a bunch of Japanese people, about 15 people. Big Japanese group is walking. I can see how they walk, right? Japanese people, very quiet, a little bit active because they are in Silicon Valley. I said, hey, excuse me, I'm John. Where are you guys from? Everybody, said, oh, Tokyo. Okay, all right, which part of Tokyo? What do you do? Oh, we do Startup Grind Japan. Wow, excellent. I want to bring this. They said, oh, we brought it to Japan.
Already.
Yeah, already. Man. Oh, that was actually 4 years ago. I'm so sorry about this story. But tonight, we running my own event, Startup Fire, at 42 Silicon Valley. Now 42 in Tokyo is actually getting bigger. But they open for teaching a free engineering course. But I hold 42 the events in Silicon Valley. So on the night, Japanese group visited my event. So I invited to lawyers for Wilson Sonsini, and also 2 Japanese startups selected by Japanese government, sent it to Silicon Valley. Then I brought my previous co-founder of different company from Google. He worked for Google as an engineer. So I brought a few speakers. Then I had about over 100 participants, local Silicon Valley people. But when Tamami-san saw me, I can run this event in overseas, And she said, "Oh, when you come back to Japan, please visit our Startup Grind." So when I went back to Tokyo, I went to see her, and then we discussed for 1 year because I was very busy back and forth. Last year, I was in Tokyo sometimes. Then she asked me to be a co-chapter director of Startup Grind Tokyo. We had a very many every month successful events, inviting guest speakers like Next Unicorns, Bitkey, and NAV. Actually, many successful Japanese companies raised over 20 million, over 60 million. Then I became an interviewer, and then interviewed them for like 45 minutes. Then later on Q&A for 15 minutes. Then 1 hour for networking session. Then because of COVID-19, I decided to not go back to Silicon Valley. Wanted to move back to Shimonoseki City from Tokyo this year. I talked to Tamami-san. Hey, I want to run the Moriwaka Medical, become the Zebra company. I want to also run Silicon Valley Ventures in Shimonoseki. But online, every day I can advise to small startups to large corporations. But I gonna try to make some spare time for helping, creating their local ecosystems, becoming a global ecosystems. Then she said, "Why don't you start Startup Grind Fukuoka?" Nice. Then I said, "That's a brilliant idea." And then Startup Grind Osaka was built by Startup Bootcamp Scale Osaka people. I'm actually mentor of their program as well. Then I actually took the exams, like 6 exams. I passed everything. And then I also trained for 6 weeks as becoming a director. Then I passed everything. Then finally, I became the founder and director of Startup Grind Fukuoka last month. Then we having the online exciting grand opening event on 29th of this month.
So that's incredible. So tell me a little bit about it. Who is this for? What will you be doing? Tell me, because the thing is, when we think about startup events, many people might think, they're all the same. How is Startup Grind Fukuoka different?
Yeah. Because one thing Fukuoka is missing, because Fukuoka becoming a global startup hub.
Right.
One thing Fukuoka is missing is this real Silicon Valley event. Any startup event, if you write it in katakana or in English, startup event, it's same. But who is running the event? Because I've been in Silicon Valley for 6 years, actually 7 years, if we can count the virtual, count this year.
I think we have to count this year, right? We have to.
Because I talk to them, every week. But anyway, so who is running the event and who's a guest? Because first speaker is a Toru Tokushige. He's my actually doshi, same hometown, same vision.
Oh, nice.
A real crazy entrepreneur. He's like a Yoshida Shoin sensei back in 150 years ago. He's a crazy samurai entrepreneur. But I love him. I respect for him. And he's from same hometown. And he lived in Silicon Valley for long time. And he built a successful startup called Terra Motors, EV bike, and Terra Drones, ranked #1 drone startup in the world now.
Wow.
And he got invested by the famous VC from Silicon Valley. So he's a Japanese guy that always traveling around the world, get investment from Silicon Valley. So he knows how to, negotiate with global companies. So first speaker is him. The second speaker is a female successful accelerator, Ari Horie, most successful Japanese female accelerator in Silicon Valley, Women's Lab. So, I interviewed them in Japanese for Fukuoka people first. Then later on, we invite successful, have a good mind and real Silicon Valley, investors, accelerators again, incubators, professors, researchers. So this event is not only for startups. I want everybody, researchers, engineers, designers. We want to invite IDEO as well. We want to invite Tim Cook from Apple. We want to invite Elon Musk. So we want to invite anybody, even maybe politicians, next prime minister or anybody want to collaborate for helping everybody, and not only entrepreneurs, everyone can be innovators, and also zebra company, unicorns, large corporations, like, because our global sponsors are Google, Oracle, Salesforce, but we're looking for local partners in Fukuoka as well, and many sponsors, media sponsors as well. Yeah.
So what do you wish, for example, that Startup Grind Fukuoka looks like in 5 years? If you think about right now, 2020, and you and I sit down again on the Business Karaoke podcast in 2025, and you say, oh my gosh, Brittany, it was more successful than we could imagine. What does that look like for you?
Oh, that's actually, I love the question. In 5 years, Startup Grind Fukuoka gonna be very beautiful ecosystem, online platform, and also offline platform. What I mean beautiful is like, beautiful real ecosystems, not only for startups, it's for Zebra, it's for investors, it's for artists, painters, rappers, singers, because Startup Grind Fukuoka, we're not only going to have a fireside chat, we're going to have many parties. So we can party together, we can laugh together, we can eat together, we can talk, discuss about innovation, make everybody happy. Yeah.
One thing that I
very beautiful. It's like art,
One thing that I'd love your opinion on is, because essentially you are the personification, you are the person describing kind of this new world, which is how zebra companies, startups, and accelerators can all work together, right? What have you learned about managing and balancing all three, right? Because there are differentiating factors. Startups do differ from zebra companies, and zebra companies do differ from accelerators. How do you manage the balance between all three?
Oh, it's like, I don't manage, I I actually, I try to not manage. I try to just manage time, and try to manage tasks. I never try to manage people.
Yeah.
And because people, or even myself, I cannot control myself. So we don't need to manage. We can just let people whatever they want to do it. If you want to create a zebra, go for it. I'm happy to help. If you want to create a unicorns, go for it. If it's not like killing people or hurting people, we are very happy to help. So Silicon Valley Ventures, Moriwaka Medical also partner with the Startup Grind Fukuoka. I explained to Moriwaka Medical employees, hey, we're gonna become partners. Please help. They say yes, no problem, because we have a same mindset, same vision, innovations for healthcare life. So, if everybody, now Japan, everybody talk about Kengyo, working for two different organizations, or some people work for volunteer group. That's also good. Or some people work for NGO, NPO, or Ippan Shanan Hoji. I don't know how to call it.
Association. It's called an association.
Yeah. So our generation or our time is like, working for associations, volunteer group, and working for companies or hospitals, or it's like everything becoming like a part-time jobs, and creating your personality or your life. So if you can manage your time, and you can work for many things to contribute to society and more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly all about having more fun. So if we think about, you mentioned, your friend or your doshi, the like a crazy samurai entrepreneur. If we think about that for a second, if we think about like the huge companies now, the companies that would be called, if they were evaluated today, they would be called, like unicorns, like the Toyotas, the Sony. If we were to think about these companies, they came from Japan. So entrepreneurship was in Japan at a point. Entrepreneurship was not only there, it was strong. It was companies that, you know, were originally making bicycles and they pivoted. They were originally making pencils and they pivoted. What do you think about that time that was different compared to now, that we don't see as many of these crazy samurai entrepreneurs? What do you think is different? And what do you wish maybe people would change?
People don't need to change. Many people always say, hey, wake them up. You know, Japan is sleeping, grandparents sleeping. But we don't need to change. Let people, you know, they'll understand. When it's a time, Japanese people come back. They'll wake them up themselves. When disasters, you know, I was
Yes.
interviewed by Swiss media long time ago when Tohoku tsunami happened.
Yeah.
And he asked me, oh, Johnson, what Tohoku tsunami, you know, affect Japanese people's mindset? I told him, natural disasters destroys our buildings, but never destroy Japanese souls. Nobody can destroy Japanese heart.
Yeah.
We have a Bushido. We have a how Bushido. Have you heard of Bushido?
So why don't you explain it a little bit?
Bushido is a how samurais living, how samurais like a philosophy mindset. So we have it's like Buddhism and Shintoism mixed together, mingled. It's like an innovation and it become Bushido. That's why Japanese people are diligent and polite. So nobody needs to teach us. Actually, we have a pure Japanese spirit. It's stronger than entrepreneurship. So, and also Yoshida Shoin sensei, my hero, he is the craziest Japanese revolutionary in our history. He was suspended to jail 5 times.
Why?
Why? Because he was, you know, revolutionary, tried to change Japan from Choshu, our area, and he against government all the time because government are too conservative. He just wanted to go to US, but he got caught and he got killed by government.
Oh my God.
However, his students become a Choshu 5. Choshu 5 was sent to 5 Japanese very poor samurai was sent to England, study at London University. Some of them came back to Japan. Actually, all came back to Japan and become the first prime minister of Japan. And Hirofumi Ito, also from our hometown. And also some become actually open Tokyo University's engineering school. And so those Choshu 5 built Japan and Meiji Revolution and also Takasugi Shinsaku. They are actually big brothers. Actually, he got killed. And actually, no, he died himself but because of sick. He's my hero. Also, Tokushige-san, the first speaker, he is reborn of Takasugi Shinsaku. Same faith, same attitude. So, Choshujin, we call ourselves from Shimonoseki or Hagi or, you know, Yamaguchi area. 150 years ago, Yoshida Shoin sensei built the Shoka Sonjuku. That's a very small school. It's like a boot camp. He told about Japanese spirit, mindset. And his lecture style was just like a workshop and very interactive, talking about politics, talking about economics, talking about how to save Japan. If you have a beautiful, strong mindset, anybody working for any organizations, no matter where you are, we contribute our societies globally. Then we can help each other, I think. So why I created accelerators and even I do free mentoring for 10 different acceleration programs because of my actually lessons from Yoshida Shoin sensei ran the Shoka Sonjuku. Shoka Sonjuku was exactly like acceleration programs, but not only helping startups. If Yoshida Shoin sensei was living right now, he not gonna only help for startups. He helped everybody want to change the world. So that's why I wanted to create new kinds of acceleration programs. I wanted to create this kind of global, beautiful ecosystems.
Johnson, how
by Moriwaka Medical, Silicon Valley Ventures, and Startup Grind Fukuoka.
this is and I think this is so interesting because it makes so much sense. There's so much value behind connecting those different ecosystems, or to connecting those different elements to under one ecosystem. But this is something that we can't do alone. You believe in it, I believe in it, but it's something that we can't achieve alone. How would you encourage, or how do you get local people involved in something that seems like a little risky? How do you get people believing what you believe?
Yeah, I that's my homework, you know, to actually inspire them, to encourage them. But firstly, ask them to come, ask to participate for free. Startup Grind
Mhm.
Fukuoka. That's why we actually giving a free, invitation for only 500 people for free. So everybody listen to this YouTube and podcast. Feel free to join us on 29th. And then if you like it, come back. And if you like it, share our event. And if you like it, participate as a volunteer member. If you like it, sponsor us. So firstly, please give us the also the opportunity to listen to us, because we are also giving you opportunity to study and understand how innovation is built by Toru Tokushige or Ali Horie or myself or our teams.
Mhm.
So
I
let's
think
collaborate.
I think that's great. What do you hope people take away from the event?
Love.
Tell me more. This is your word. Tell me more.
Yeah, I think love is everything. Love is most powerful. Of course, love can create, love can help you, love can guide us to the next level together. So if you want to achieve your goal, we're happy to help. And because Bushido is very strong, entrepreneurship is strong. But if you love somebody, if you love the community, if you love yourself, we all become like a global family, and we can help each other, and we can learn each other, and we can challenge together.
I think this is so great, because business is a life journey, really. And I think,
Yeah.
and when we think about life, we have to go through life with friends. We have to go through life with family. And I think that, this mindset, that you're trying to create with the Startup Grind Fukuoka, I think is a great place to begin your entrepreneur journey, or maybe it's your zebra journey. Together, in a community, instead of just people running around, collecting business cards, right?
Yes. And one more thing, I want myself to be a better person, and I want everybody to forgive.
Mm.
Forgive. Giving is also important, but forgive is more important, because
Mhm.
for plus give, you know,
Mm.
forgive, not forget, don't forget. But forgive is like a giving is actually accepting who you are,
Mhm.
understanding what people's mistakes, and we can learn each other, we can improve together. So love is important, also forgive is very, very important as well.
I have never thought about it like that. So if we think about what makes somebody happy, right? Giving makes somebody happy, not getting things. Giving makes people happy. So that's why you're happier if you forgive rather
Yeah.
than forget.
Yes. Yes.
John-san, I've never in my life thought about it like that. That's so interesting. And I honestly
Because if
can't.
you can forgive,
Yeah,
you can have a long time relationship with your friends, long
I
time
love it.
relationship with your family. If
I
you can
love that.
forgive, you can be friend with anybody.
Hmm.
Sometimes many people think, oh, John is too hyperactive, he's not like a Japanese. So some Japanese maybe might not like me 5 years ago, but maybe they can like me again, or they please what I'm saying is give each other the chance,
Yeah.
give each other the opportunity to listen and talk to each other.
Mhm.
So it's like a forgive. If you have a forgive mind, you can just be friends with everybody for a long time.
I
You
love that,
know,
and I've never thought about it like that, and that's something that I'm certainly taking away with
that's
me.
like a
So
zebra. I think zebra company's mindset
yeah,
to have a
I
long
think
time
so.
relationship. Yeah.
Okay, Johnson, and on that note, before we finish up, is there any last one thing that you'd like to let the business karaoke audience know?
Yes. Thank you so much for Brittany to give me the second chance to be here, and happy to see everybody. Hope you enjoyed our talk and innovations for healthier life. So let's make each other happier by innovation. And hope all your families and friends stay safe and happy. And see you next time. If you want to change the world, come down with us. Please listen to my song with Darky Ray. My rapper name is Gifted because I want everyone to understand you are gifted. We are all
I love,
gifted.
I
Love
love
and
that.
peace. Thank you so
And
much.
I'll connect this. I'll add the song into after our conversation, like we did the last time. So on that note, everyone, now you've got to know John San a little bit more about, in his Moriwaka Medical role, in his Silicon Valley role, and then also now with Startup Grind Fukuoka. So keep that. Now that we see now that we understand a little bit more about this kind of how a complex yet very simple ecosystem can function and the value, I think that's a real opportunity that if you're looking to do business in Japan, or you're looking for a partner, or if you're looking for family, then Johnson and the Startup Grand Fukuoka community is the place to be. So on that note, we'll add all of the details to the show notes, so you can go and sign up and get and stay up to date with all of the updates. And on that note, everyone, like John said, stay safe and stay well.